So you have £1,000 and you're trying to figure out what the best way of investing that £1,000 is. You might have earned it in your first paycheck, you might have earned it in a side hustle, maybe it's not even £1,000, maybe it's just £100 or £200, it doesn't really matter. I get asked this question all the time, and many people, when they come to this position, they make all the wrong choices and the £1,000 disappears as quickly as it turned up, and you have absolutely nothing to show for it. So the best thing you can do with £1,000 if you have debts is to pay down those debts. Now, I'm really sorry to be the party pooper, and this is fundamentally something that a lot of people just don't really understand, but if you have debts and you have money that's come in, you will do considerably better financially by just paying those debts down. Typically, any debts you have will be incurring an interest which will be far greater than the rate of return you will be getting on that money in any normal everyday investment vehicle, even in stocks and shares and other things. By debt here, I mean things like loans, credit cards, car finance, any other types of debt that is an actual debt that doesn't earn you money, things like mortgages and other forms of debt that are good debt where you're actually financing an asset that is appreciating faster than the rate at which your debt is increasing. Those don't really count here. I'm talking about genuine kind of everyday short-term and mid-term debt. If you have any credit cards with a balance, if you have any kind of loans that you are paying interest on, you should go and pay those down as a priority. There's a lot of people out there who have a school of thought that actually saving money while you still have the debt is a good thing. You build some kind of kitty for a rainy day, but ultimately saving money at a rate of 0.0% while your debt is being charged 9.9, 19.9, 29.9, even higher percent interest at the same time is absolutely futile. You are just doing yourself a massive disservice. You could be saving all of that interest that you're just handing over to the banks by using the money that you're putting away into a point of savings account to clear that debt instead. The second best thing you can do in terms of investing that money is investing it in yourself. Now, again, this might sound extremely cheesy and corny and whatever. I don't care. If you have a small amount of money, you will earn very little on it for quite a long period of time, and what you can do instead is go and learn stuff. Bettering yourself is an amazing thing. Whatever age you are, whatever stage of your career you're at, there's always things you can learn, and there's always ways in which you can improve yourself. If you have skills that you need to know, for example, like if you're building an online business, you don't know coding, you might choose to go and learn that. If you want to go and advance other skills and techniques that are better for your career, you can go and learn them. Today, there are an unbelievable number of really amazing courses out there that will teach you virtually anything. Go and have a look around. There's massive platforms that offer these. There are individual people that can teach you things, but avoid any kind of thing that's telling you that they're going to teach you how to make you rich or how to earn money online quickly without any effort. You will see these courses advertised all over YouTube, all over the internet. They'll charge you $1,000, $2,000. They'll charge you some crazy amount of money. They'll promise you the riches. Almost every single time, these things are a total scam. Make sure you double, triple check, quadruple check, and then check another 20 times after that before handing your money to make sure this is a legitimate course, that you can genuinely prove that there are people who are using it and there's value, and just look at reviews and various videos online to check before you do. Better still, just go and pick something much more specific. So go and learn a very particular skill set. Go and learn some particular piece of information or a particular tool or whatever it is that is very specific, that isn't an all-encompassing get-rich-quick scheme. The third best thing you can do with your money in terms of investment is investing it in starting your own business. Now, starting your own business these days can sound very daunting. You hear all these stories about people doing investment rounds and preparing Series A, Series B, Series whatever, collecting thousands, millions of pounds of investment before they've even started. You don't have to do that. I didn't do that. A lot of other people start businesses without doing that, and you can do it too. Now, you can start a business for free. There are lots of options out there. I have a whole separate video that you can go and look at where you can start a business with absolutely nothing, but a small investment can get you a very long way. For example, if you want to start a blog, you might want to go and spend a little bit of amount of money on buying a domain to start with, setting up your initial hosting, buying a package of photos or whatever it is that you're going to use so that you can use something better than just the free stuff that everybody else does. If you're making things with your hands, you might want to go and buy some tools and invest in some kind of packaging and then be able to market and sell these things. Whatever it is that you're doing, There's always a little bit of startup capital. I'm talking 100, 200 pounds at most, maybe a little bit higher depending on what it is that you're doing. That can get you started. Investing in your own business can yield considerably greater results, but only if you really think it through and you persist with getting that business off the ground. A lot of people will spend a lot of time thinking and very little time executing, and this is most of the time the biggest reason why businesses fail, because people never actually invest the time to get them running after they had the initial idea. If you are looking at actually investing money in something that is an investment and the previous few points just don't apply to you, or you don't fancy starting your business, or whatever situation you're at, you are probably not a particularly savvy or sophisticated investor because you are watching this video. And because of that, you probably don't want to go and do anything that is particularly risky or something you don't understand, or investing in complicated products, because you're going to be handing over a lot of money into something that you don't fundamentally know anything about. And that's almost every single time a really bad idea. In this case, if you're a beginner, one of the best options for you is to consider investing in some kind of index fund. So what this will do is it will invest in a portfolio of diversified companies, something like the FTSE. It will track the performance of those companies over time, and the value of your investment will grow as the value of those companies grows. But you're not particularly over-invested in any particular one of these companies. You're not invested in a specific sector. Often these index funds are quite broad and will cover a large spectrum of different investments. Go and consider the different options available in the market, but an index fund is usually a reasonable balance of risk and return. It's become very fashionable in the last few years for companies to tell you, hey, we have this very specialist platform where you can invest without knowing anything about investing in very specific stocks, which our robot will automatically tell you to invest in. And they even say things like, you don't need to understand candlestick graphs or anything about how all these things work. We'll just do it all for you. Now, I don't know if I need to tell you this, but if somebody tells you that you can invest in stuff that you completely don't understand, and a robot will tell you if it's a good idea or not, I would really think twice about your decisions. I would steer clear, and I would really rethink your approach to life, because relying on something that you don't understand to recommend you things that you don't understand is is just wrong. You should not do it. It's a bad idea until you understand the variables involved, exactly how the thing works, the thing that it's recommending. Go and get more than the robot's point of view before you go and hand over your cash. You should not do it. You should keep the cash in your bank account. If you absolutely must invest in something that isn't an index fund and something specific, I'm not going to give you any financial advice in this video, but your options really are investing in stocks, and there are some golden rules about doing that you'll probably want to consider following. Now here's a few that you should really think about. Number one, you should probably consider investing in multiple different companies and multiple different tech sectors to diversify your risk. Just because today one of the sectors sounds like it might yield considerable returns in the future and it might earn you considerable amount of money, does not mean that it can't crash in a year or 2 years due to something that you haven't foreseen. Just because one company today sounds like it is the one, does not mean it's going to be the Facebook. It could well end up being the MySpace. So make sure when you're looking for these new unicorns coming through and companies that everyone's talking about, that you don't put your whole amount of money into that one company. Make sure you go and pick a bunch of these different ones. Yeah, you might win big if you go and plunk all your money into one, but you also have a huge likelihood of losing everything. So my top tip is to think twice before doing that. If you hear somebody telling you that they know where you should invest your money, if they're telling you this is the one, I've been following stocks and I know this one's going to do well, this is a surefire way of knowing that you should not trust this person and you should not follow their advice, because the truth is nobody knows. Nobody knows what the future holds, no matter what they tell you, and most of this is educated guesswork, no matter how high up you go in the industry. So my best advice is don't follow people who tell you they know stuff which they can't possibly know. Another tip here is follow the future and follow tomorrow instead of following what happened yesterday. And this is a piece of advice that might seem controversial before you kind of think about it, but don't follow companies that have historically done well just because they have historically done well. follow companies and invest in companies that you can see moving into the future and doing the right thing. Sure, if a big established company is really big on innovation and continues delivering products that are at the forefront of the market and are always market leading and the customers love, that is a good sign. You should probably go and consider investing in that. But if somebody has historically been in an industry that is in decline, that you don't see really growing because other industries are overtaking it, if you see the company failing to innovate, you probably want to consider not investing in that type of stock. Most importantly, make sure you never invest any money that you can't afford to lose. Because when you're investing in specific stocks, there is a good likelihood that the companies you're investing in will go and collapse. There could be another market crash where all of the tech sector or whatever it is you're investing in is all going to go under. The number of different things that can cause that is huge. We don't know the future, and if you just have that £1,000 and you go and plunk it all on stocks and all goes, will that have a serious negative impact on you? If the answer is yes, you probably shouldn't do it. If the answer is, hey, I don't mind, I'm happy to take the risk and happy to lose the money, then you should probably go and consider those stocks, subject to making sure that you do some diversification, because picking just one is almost never a good idea. I hope you guys found this useful. Just to recap, the best thing you can do with your money if you have debt is to repay the debt. And if you don't have debt, the second best thing you can do is to go and invest in yourself. Go and learn something, go and learn a new skill, go and learn a new tool, go and learn a new approach to something. Whatever it is, learning is always a great thing. The third best way to invest your money is to go and invest in your own business. Starting something small, a little side hustle that can then grow. You don't have to invest a lot of money up front, just some initial starting capital to get you going. If you absolutely must invest, the fourth best thing is to go and invest in an index fund. This will minimize your risk versus investing in specific stock, and actually on average over long periods of time these things yield very robust results. If you absolutely must invest in specific stocks, that is my number 5 suggestion. There's a lot of things you have to consider. Make sure you diversify, make sure you don't overinvest in any specific sector or specific company. If you find this useful, please make sure you like this video, please make sure you subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications every time one of my videos comes out. I'll see you guys later.